All right, hello and welcome. My name is Shauna. This is our Fit Essentials intermediate level class. We're going to be working with a couple of different pieces today. First, if you're wearing the blood flow bands, we have just added air. Some people are still working on that, so go ahead and do that now. Second half of our session today, if you want to wear one of the shorter TheraBands, we're going to have the option for that. I've got my chair here for some elevated push-ups also in that section. And I don't think there's a whole lot else to know. We're going to be starting down on the floor. We're going to be doing 2 series through of some midline work. I already talked to some folks live about making some adjustments for that. They want to do elevated or just stationary side planks, but we're going to be working our side plank dip with the leg lift. Welcome, Kathy. We have added air. And first thing we're going to do once we come to hands and knees is warm up the wrist and do like our modified cat-cow. So when you're ready, go ahead and make your way down. Turn the palms down and you're going to rotate the hands that they turn in towards you. Make sure you're not into a sway back position. So draw your stomach in and then ever so gently, you're just going to lean back. You could also put your hands like on a tabletop and stretch them on a countertop or anything like that. Couple deep breaths in and out the nose here. Be gentle with your stretching. Sometimes the forearms can get a little intense kind of quickly. Good, let's come off the wrist. If you can, sit back on your heels, kind of stretch your shins, stretch your ankles. We're gonna rotate through the wrist. Shoulders down out of the ears as you do so. Turn them the other way. Fantastic, and now we're gonna get ready for that cat-cow breathing. Place those hands underneath each shoulder, set the feet underneath each hip. We're gonna take it through about 5 revolutions here. Breathing in as you round the body, tuck that chin and really lift through the spine. And breathing out, draw the shoulders out of the ears. Drop the belly down, looking up and forward. Nice and subtle, here we go. Keep it moving. In and out the nose as able, or in the nose, out the mouth. Look to time it with your own rhythm. See if you can add a brief pause at the top and then the bottom of each breath. 2 to go. Nice long extended arms, drawing those shoulders out of the ears. Lovely, last time. Fantastic. From here, we're going to get moving right into our side plank dip. I'm going to be starting on my right side. Just pick a side as long as you know which side you're on. As we come into this side plank series, you're going to tuck your elbow just underneath the shoulder. We're going to extend the legs. We'll start here in 10 seconds. What it's going to look like is you're going to come into a dip, coming down, and then you're going to draw the legs in, either bent knees or straight knees. 2, 1, when you're ready. And you can always just practice a static side plank and take the movement out of it. So breathe and move. I like to pause the top of that side plank. And then up to you, you can continue to keep the knees bent. Make sure you're not arching your lower spine, drawing that spine in towards your stomach. Or you can do the version where you point the toes, extend the legs, just like so. Really lift out of that downside shoulder. Sitting back onto your hips, pull the legs up. We're halfway through. This is our first of 2 rounds. In between sides, we're going to be coming onto our stomach to activate that mid-back. Breathe as you move here. So I usually breathe in as I transition, breathe out as I lift up, breathe in as I lower the hips down, breathe out as I draw the legs up. Go, maybe one more time. Up, down, 2, 1, and rest. Beautiful. We're going to lie on your stomachs. Those of you that are doing the elevated, as I mentioned, you can do some pull aparts. You can just move through your upper body if it doesn't work to get down on the ground. Otherwise, legs mostly together. Just got my soles of the feet up, and I'm going to start with my palms up towards the ceiling, hands to the side. And I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to squeeze the glutes, draw the shoulders back and down. You can join me anytime you're ready. You could do just this motion, holding as long as you can, avoiding any kind of pinch in the low back. Coming down to rest as needed. And then as you come back up, if you want to add some complexity to it, we turn it into our prone snow angels. Very appropriate for this season where I'm rotating through the shoulders, Chin is down, looking towards the mat. And then as I circle my arms back, I'm really emphasizing that shoulder lift. Good, Kathy. Breathing in, reaching overhead, the palms rotate towards the floor. Breathing out, circle them down. Good, one more time. Ideally, chin in, looking down towards your mat. And resting when you're ready. Let's take it back into a child stretch before we swing over to that opposite side. I'm gonna drop the hips back, bow the head down. Just a short rest here, breathing 2 times into the sides of your rib cage. And then we'll make our way over towards, I was on my right, now I'm going to my left. Starting here in 5 seconds, back to that side plank dip into the leg lift. 2, 1, here we go. Up and squeeze, down. I recommend starting with the knees bent. Yeah, excellent. Crunching up and in. Lovely. And then only if you feel like you can do it, no strain in the back, you can point the toes, lift the legs in that straight position. Good, keep that breathing nice and rhythmic. Excellent. Lifting up out of that shoulder, good support. Halfway through. Eyes looking forward as you come into that side plank. Good. 15 seconds to go. Really key to keep that shoulder engaged so you don't just drop into that downside shoulder. Beautiful. Up and squeeze that bottom hip. Good. Nice work, Diane. And 3, 2, 1, and rotate. Take it onto your back. If you're standing, you can do a toe touch stretch. Those of you on the floor, let's hug the legs in and just gently rock side to side. That's set 1. We're going to do it one more time. Starting here in 20 seconds, we'll be on our right arm or your first arm to the side plank work. Good job. All right. Start to make your way back up. Return to your first side. Draw that elbow in, stack it just underneath that shoulder. And 3, 2, 1. Here's round 2. Up into the side plank. Engage. Back and down. Knees straight or bent. Good. Flowing through. Do a variation too. Sometimes I forget to keep the legs straight and they bend, no worries. And reach. You shouldn't have any discomfort in your low back. Sometimes if your midline's not quite ready for those straight legs, you'll feel like a strain in the low back. That tells me that you're probably arching your spine as you draw the legs up. And I recommend simply bending the knees. Go back to that tucked position. Excellent. Into our final 15 seconds now. Gonna find that flow, holding strong, breathing as you move. We're gonna go back to our swimmers next, or those snow angels. 2, 1, onto your stomach. Or from standing, just working through those shoulders. You really want to engage that mid back. All right, those of you on the floor, palms at the side, palms up. Draw those shoulders back and down, squeeze the glute, draw the chin in. And now imagine that, stretch arms strong from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. If you want to add the snow angels, circle through the arms. Excellent, chin in. Now really engage that back position. Squeezing the shoulder blades, squeezing your glutes. I got my legs off the ground for this position, but I could also keep them on the ground. Be a little bit less demanding. 15 seconds left. And as my arms are at my side, those palms up, I imagine I'm trying to push the air away. Lovely. You do one more snow angel if you're moving through those shoulders. Squeeze and rest. Good job. Return to child stretch again. Let's go supinated this time. So little fingers come together, palms up. Just give a little variation to opening through the shoulders. Bow the head down. And now try to send your breath into the back of the rib cage and the sides of your rib cage. One more big breath. And come on up. Good job. Swing it over to your second side. We're going to finish out that Side plank work. Then we're gonna have a short stretch break, and then we're gonna have one round of a 90-second forearm plank challenge. You don't have to hold all 90, whatever you can do. First, the side plank dip, 2, 1, here we go. Squeeze, down. We're moving for a minute on this sequence. Good, nice intentional breathing, lifting up out of the shoulder. Beautiful. Cool. There you go. I'm into halfway. That's our 30 seconds. Body is heating up now. Had a lot of chilly weather recently. Those of you that are more in the north have been getting really hammered with some snow this week. Arizona is just experiencing some cold weather, at least here in Phoenix. I know Payson has been having some snow. Cold weather for us anyway. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. All right, let's go and take it into a little seated toe touch, or once again, those of you standing, you go into a standing toe touch, sitting tall, slide the hands down, bow the head down. You can grab the toes, great. If it causes you to wince or hurt, don't try to force it. Fantastic. All right, friends, feel free if you want to grab a short drink. We've got 30 seconds to transition, and then we're going to be doing that forearm plank challenge. You could also do an elevated plank, holding your arms on or hands on a chair, side of the couch, back of the couch, whatever works for you. Now, as we call it a challenge, the goal would be to see how far you can hold with good body alignment. So we don't want to arch that lower spine. All right, let's get everybody into position. Palms down. So on the forearms, and we're going to come on up in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So I'd rather, this is not correct. We don't want to be piked. We want to be nice and flat. But I always tell you, I'd rather see your hips too high than if we go too low, that's going to be harder on that low back. Chin in, just lift and hold. And now try to squeeze the glutes, draw the thighs away from your knees. Coming up on our first 30 seconds. Also lift up out of the shoulders. There's 30. Try to give you every 15 from here. Anytime you need to take a break, it's not wrong or bad. Don't shame yourself for it. If you can come back in and join us, that's great. If not, just shake it out. That's 45 seconds in. Great exercise to practice that nasal breathing in and out the nose. They've shown there's a lot of benefit to be able to continue to breathe through your nose for your overall health. We're 1 minute in, friends. Check in with your low back. Are those hips starting to drop down? Looks good, Kathy. Whew. Good job. Stay tight. Keep breathing. That's a minute 15. We've got 15 seconds to go. Got that gentle shake going on. Body's working to hold that plank position. Good. Continue to fire those glutes. And we're at that 90 seconds in 2, 1. Awesome job. Come on down. Woo. Let's sit back onto our heels. Or those of you that might have been elevated, you could do a standing behind the back stretch. Open up the arms, interlace the hands. Oh, extend those elbows. Draw those shoulders back and down. Awesome. All right. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'm gonna open up your hip flexors from a lunging position. You can also do it from a standing stance if you don't want to be all the way on your knee. If you need to put anything under your knee to give a little extra support, we're gonna start with your right knee down, left foot forward. We're gonna get a good opening for those hip flexors as we get into our final sequence. Breathing in, interlace the hands as able, push that back hip forward. Make sure that front shin is vertical. And now let's start with a rotation. You can grab your right wrist, turn towards your left. Continue to squeeze the glute of that trail leg. Good, drop out of it. And now bring your right arm back up, bend the elbow, push the hip forward. Excuse me. And now long side bend, bending towards your front leg. Really good. And release. Awesome. We're going to switch sides. Either stay down or stand up and switch legs. Breathing in, interlace, stretch up. You want to get that shift of the hip. Grab the wrist, rotation on the first set. Very good. Trying to look over your right shoulder. Lovely. Rest the arms down, and now we'll add the tricep stretch with the side bend. Left arm up without the ribs flaring up. Bend the elbow, reach up, pull it back, and now a nice long side bend, chin in. Still squeezing that left butt cheek, or glute as we often call it. And release. Awesome. Those of you down on the floor, let's take it in a down dog. We're going to make our way up to standing. Wide handprint. Lift the hips. Take a moment. Pulse your head between your arms. Look in between their thighs. And then let's give a nice stretch for those calves, pedaling out the heels. Wonderful. No jumping today, but just always good to give the calves a little love. And then when you're ready, inchworm your way up. Hands to the feet, feet towards the hands. And then nice and slow coming up out of that forward fold. Awesome. All right, let's grab a quick drink. And then we're going to transition directly into this next series. The first round will be a bit of a warm up. We've got the banded walk, option with the banded walk, lateral walk with the squats. Then we're going to go into a sumo deadlift. So if you want to have some weights nearby. From there, we're going to take it down to the floor for some glute bridges. And then we're going to roll it over, come back up, or you can stay down if you want to do your push-ups off the floor. I'm going to be using the chair, and those will be our exercises. So we'll start here in about 15 seconds. It's totally okay if you don't have one of these TheraBands. Just move as if you do. Draw the stomach in. You're going to come into like a little defensive stance. If you ever played basketball or you've seen people practice their defense, and then when you're ready, we're going to step it out laterally, midline nice and strong. 2, 3, depending on your space, 5 steps, and then we're going to go between 2 and 3 squats on both each side. So I'll take it back. I'm working with a small space today. That's all right. Full depth in your squats if you can. Squeeze the glutes, stand it all the way up. And then we'll take it to the other side. Good. Arms back and down. You can hold them out wide. Knees pushed wide. Excellent. Diane, good to have you back. Don't know if you know that your camera's off. Up to you if you want to keep it off. Keeping the weight back in the heels as you're working those squats. Some about 10 seconds left. And 2, 1. Go ahead and finish whatever you're working on, and then we'll take a rest. All right. Light to moderate weights for your deadlift. Still got the band on my thighs. Gonna bring the weight right between my legs. Draw the stomach in so you're nice and neutral for your lower spine. With a soft bend in the knees, you're gonna push your hips back. Nice flat back position. And then when you're ready, we're gonna stand and squeeze the glutes. Long spine, bringing it down and up. Depending upon the size of your dumbbell, if you're working with like a smaller dumbbell and you feel like you get a little tension in your back as you lower down, then go about mid-shin. You don't have to take it all the way to the floor. Excellent. At the top, stack those shoulders right over top of the hips. Breathing in on the down, breathing out as you stand. 20 seconds left. I like to emphasize a little bit slower on the down than the up, especially the first round. Make sure all the tendons are kind of aware of that motion, give you good support. Good. 1 or 2 more. We're taking it to the floor next. 2, 1, and rest. All right, onto our backs. Gonna practice that glute bridge next. Still, I'm gonna wear the band through this whole series. So shoulders back and down. Feet flat on the ground, And then as soon as you get there, you can begin. We're working those bridges. Squeeze the glute, knees push laterally, keeping that outward pressure. And then focus to drive through your full foot. Sometimes the big toes will lift up and we'll just be driving through the heel to try to keep your whole foot in contact. Breathing in on the down, breathing out on the up. 15 seconds left. Push-ups are next. Maybe one or two more. And transition, fantastic. So as mentioned, if you want to work off the ground, I'm gonna come elevated. We're gonna be letting the air out of the blood flow bands after this exercise. So hands just underneath the shoulders. Nice strong plank position. And then when you're ready, chest lowers down. I'd like to see that full range of motion. So if you don't feel comfortable coming all the way down to your chest, see if you have a higher space to work off of. If you're doing push-ups off a wall, I know that doesn't quite make it possible, but a countertop works really well. If you're not quite ready for that full range, no worries. We will get there. Just do the best you can, no pain. Shoulders draw back, elbows back and in. 10 seconds left. If you need to rest, try to rest the top, and you can just hold that plank into the finish. 2, 1, and there's our rest break. Woo! All right, blood flow bands are coming off. Or you can simply let the air out. Kind of just prefer to take mine off. Great job, friends. So I'm going to still keep this band on throughout. But before we jump into that next round, I've got about 20 seconds or so. Just gently circle through the hips. And circle the other way. Awesome. All right, 10 seconds. We're going to be back to that lateral walk with the squats, 2 to 3 at each end. We're going to work for a minute. 2, 1. When you're ready, stepping it out. Maybe move it just a little bit faster this time. Then move it through those squats back into the heels. Excellent. And take it the other way. I like to practice these lateral movements in sessions. Life tends to bring us forward and back all the time, especially things out in front of us. But it's good practice to step laterally as well, meaning just a simple side step. Helps keep your body nimble. Helps to have that awareness if you ever were to step and fall or trip, that it's not foreign to you. You're like, oh yeah, body's done this before. I know how to make those adjustments. It's also just good for your knees and your joints to move through various planes of motion. Less than 10 seconds. See if you can get back to where you started. Awesome. And take the rest. All right. We have 2 more rounds. I'm going to go a little bit heavier on my deadlift. Bringing the weight right between my legs. Give folks a little bit longer to set up. We'll start in 10 seconds. So first things first, if you tend to stand with a sway back, tuck the hips under you, nice and neutral through your spine. Bowing down, and when you're ready, chin in, push the legs, squeeze the glutes. Excellent. You have to be a little bit strategic when you're wearing that band between the legs. Make sure you're not reaching way out in front of you. You want to go just in front of the band and then back up. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm going to take a pause and come a little closer. You all keep working. There you go. Good, Diane, you're starting to round your spine as you bow forward. So remember that good morning position. Squeeze the shoulders back, push the hips back, long spine. Excellent. That's much better, and stand from there. So go down about 3 inches less, because at the bottom is when you're losing it. Last one, crew. 2, 1. Set it down well, and then we're going to make our way onto our backs, returning to the glute bridge. All right. Feet flat on the ground, hands to the sides. And when you get there, go ahead and begin. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to go 45 seconds from here. If you already started, you got closer to a minute. If anyone's having a pinching sensation in the front of the hips, don't push through that pinch. Just lower your bridge a little bit. You don't have to go as high as possible, but we're more looking for glute engagement or activation. So really squeeze that glute. Breathing in on the down, breathing out on the up. Wonderful. 15 seconds left. Trying to squeeze deeper into your muscle fibers with each rep. Really wake up those deep muscles. You got a lot of muscle fibers in your glutes. So you want to let those guys do their job. 2, 1, and ready for push-ups. I'm going to continue to stay elevated. Maybe work on the ground for the final round. It's a 45-second interval for the push-ups. So feel free to rest as needed. When you get there, go ahead and begin. So most commonly, we see people wing those elbows out, draw them back and down. When the elbows wing wide, you tend to draw your shoulders forward. It puts more stress on the front of the shoulder. So you want to think broad chest. Shoulder blades drive back, arms and elbows stay not pinned against the side, but kind of out to the side. Excellent. Check everybody out again. Good. Diane, just don't let the hips drop down. Lead with your heart. So chest leads, squeeze the glutes. Good, friends. Less than 10 seconds. Look strong, Amy. Awesome, Kathy. Those are really solid. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job, friends. We're at our stretch break. One more round to go, but first let's do our little side stretch flow. So I'm just keeping the band on, reaching one hand to the opposite thigh, looking up to the opposite hand, and flowing through. Breathing in as you transition, breathing out as you peer up, reach, trying to reach over top of your head. Beautiful. Let's get about twice more each direction. I know I say it a lot, but so often when people have low back pain, all they really tend to think about is that like toe touch stretch. But you also want to think about your side body and the front of the hips. All of that is tied into the low back and it all has an impact. Fantastic. All right. Feel free to grab a drink of water. We have 20 seconds and then we're going to be back into our final round. We're going to go 1:15 on our banded walk this round. Just give a little bit more time. Maybe everybody can get through about 3 loops. All right, when you're ready, draw the stomach in, that little defensive stance, and then we'll start to step it out. Good. 2 to 3 squats when you get to your end point. And then take it back. Good, broad chest. Watch that you're not starting to shrug your shoulders up into those ears. Think about an inverse shrug. So shrug them down, draw them down, keep your neck nice and long. Feet firmly planted, eyes looking up and forward throughout this movement. Awesome. Okay, good. 45 seconds in, 30 seconds left. Knees keep pushing out. Should be in alignment with the toes though. You don't want to push them out beyond the toes. I personally find that hard to do, but I've seen other people comment on it. So if you are someone that's really flexible, you really get those knees wide, just pay attention there. Alrighty, it's my last time. Try to make your way back to the start. 3, 2, 1. Get ready here for your final deadlift. I'm going to go ahead and take the band. Well, no, I'm going to keep it on. It's good for the glute bridges. Standing right over top. Find that neutral posture. Long spine, chin in. And here we go. Squeeze the glutes. Shoulders back. So remember, Diane, we want to keep that chest tall as you hinge at the hips like a door hinge. So hips push back, chest bows forward. Excellent. Breathing in. It's like, how long can I create my spine? We don't want to let those shoulders drop down. We want to engage those shoulders back and down. Yep. Really solid. Kathy, Amy, looks good. Much better this round, Diane. Yep. Up and squeeze, engage the glutes as you stand tall. Good, about 20 seconds left. Awesome, really good positioning. Nice and small, smooth. Yep, final 10 seconds. Still just stacking the shoulders right over the hips. Excellent. 3, 2, 1, transition to the floor. For this last round of glute bridge, if you want to hold a light dumbbell against on your waist, you could add a little bit of weight to that. Not something I recommend if you've had any low back pain recently, because it's going to give you more of a load onto your low back. But I'm going to hold my dumbbell here, right on the front of the hips. Feet are flat on the ground. If you want to start early, you can go ahead and begin if you're ready. 5 seconds, we'll start that 45-second interval. Here we go. All the same areas that we've talked about. Driving through the feet, outward tension on the band, squeeze in the glutes. You can also add a little pause at the top. Some people like to pulse faster. Some people like to be more sustained in their movements. It's going to change from day to day based upon how your body's feeling, where your energy levels are. If you're feeling a little bit more stiff, I recommend more deliberate motions, a little bit slower. All right, almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome. Push-ups. So now I'm going to take the band off. You can go back to your elevated position, or if you'd like to work on the floor, is fine as well. A little hybrid version, I'll start with that demonstration. I'm going to come down on my toes all the way to my chest, and I'm going to push off the knees. Wide handprint. When you're ready. So like I said, I'm going to come all the way down to my chest, and then I'm going to come off the knees. That's a good practice if you're someone who it feels easy, maybe from the elevated portion. You're not quite ready to fully be on the toes. We want to still emphasize that full range of motion. So you don't want to lower down, meaning hands to the floor, before you can confidently bring your chest all the way to the surface that you're using. Excellent. Good. See how everybody's looking. Good, Diane. Lead with the heart, not the hips. Better. Awesome body line, Kathy. There you go, Amy. Under 10 seconds now, friends. Lower down, squeeze as you drive away. And 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. Awesome. Good session, friends. Let's grab some water, and then we've got a good amount of time for a solid cool down stretch today. All right, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to challenge your balance a little bit with our cool down stretch, at least the first portion of it. So if your balance is a little bit wobbly, I recommend either standing by the wall or maybe having your chair nearby. We're going to start by anchoring down into your support leg, lift on up, squeeze the shoulders back, and I'm going to bring my leg up, draw the shoulders back, and we're going to both kind of open, see, through the groin a little bit as we roll through the ankle. Keep kind of hugging that leg in best you can, or if you can't pull the leg up that high, you can practice that ankle roll low. Wonderful. Set that foot down. Same thing other side. Root yourself down, lift yourself up, making sure you're not kicking that hip out. That's the most common thing we see with the balance. And then we'll do the other side. Good. Switch directions of the ankle. Lovely, set it down. Next, we're going to take a break from the balance before we go into that quad stretch, and we're going to open up those inner thighs. I want you to walk your feet nice and wide. You can hold on to the back of the chair or simply reach the arms forward. Soft bend those knees, and we're going to take it into our side lunge. Make sure you stay anchored into your foot. Knee pushes out to stay in alignment with the toes. Eyes up, arms forward. Good, breathing in as you come back up. And now we're gonna alternate sides. So we're looking to lengthen this inner thigh. Sit the hips back gently. Excellent, we're gonna go twice more each way. So sinking in, sometimes the body will want to go a little bit deeper. So commonly the knee drops in, keep it out. Good, switching back. Excellent. One more time each way. Don't start to shrug forward now. Shoulders back and down, neck long, eyes up. Awesome. And finish it out. Third time on your opposite side. Beautiful. Walk those feet back in. And next, our standing quad stretch. So anchoring down, squeeze the shoulders back, looking to grab that foot. We're going to hold for 30 seconds here. Thighs forward, thigh pushes back. Halfway through, we're just going to stay tall for this one. Stacking the shoulders over the hips. Excellent. You can reach the arm up or hold it at your side, whatever feels best. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Release that foot. In between sides. We did our hip circles. Now let's do kind of like our figure eights or our Hawaiian island with all this cold weather here today. Don't you just want to pretend that you can be on a little island of paradise? Beautiful. Try to swivel the opposite way. Just look to release any tension. Excellent. All right. And now let's make our way to your second foot. Anchor down, lift up, squeeze the shoulders back, and grab that other foot. Breathing, reaching. Halfway through. Take note as the hips starting to kick out. Can you keep lifting up? And go ahead and release there. Excellent. Behind the back stretch next. Feet nice and wide. Hands interlaced behind you. Extend those elbows. And now root down into your legs as you send your hips back. Bowing down, chin in, looking right between your thighs. Let gravity give your neck some space between your spinal column there. Chin in, lengthen through that vertebrae. On the next inhale, root down through your legs. Make your way back up. Wonderful. And I'm just going to move my chair out of the way. We're going to make our way down to the floor, and we're going to finish with some upper body opening. We're going to do our mid-back rotations, and we're going to do a little thread the needle as well. All right, so hands and knees. Start with your left hand behind the head. You're going to breathe in as you bring that elbow to the opposite elbow. Lift up out of your right arm as you peer up towards the ceiling. Here between 6 and 10 times. Breathing in, breathing out, not for speed, especially in that open position. Hold it. That's where we get the benefit. We get that nice open position through the rib cage. Help encourage some rotation through your mid-back. Excellent. Breathing in as you close. Breathing out to give a little bit more space as you open. No idea what number I'm on. I can do 1 or 2 more. Last one for me. Good. In between sides, take it back into child stretch once again. Hands reach forward, hips drop back, head bows down. And great time to give a little audible sigh. Nice big in-breath. And then on the out breath, helps to reset your nervous system, especially if you're holding any stress or tension. One more breath. Lovely. Coming back forward. Now we're moving into the mid-back rotation. Spread that left hand out as you place it down. Right hand behind the head. And once again, breathing in, lifting up, breathing out. Peering up past that elbow, looking towards the ceiling. 6 to 10 times. I like to imagine I'm like wringing out my torso, like as if my torso is like a towel, and I'm like wringing all the water out of the towel. Just bringing it out to give that mobility, keep my body able to move. This simple motion also helps kind of keep your lungs expanding because you have that good rotation. Everything just can be more in flow. Excellent. All right, let's come off the hands for a moment. Just shake them out. And we're going to stretch the triceps, and then we'll kind of finish with that thread the needle before our final breath. So reaching the one arm up, chin in, bend the elbow, reaching up, pull the elbow back, add a little side bend to it. Go ahead and come in and out of that. I'm going to go 3 times with that side bend, chin in, leaning to the side. I'm going to gently rotate, trying to look up past the elbow on the side I'm stretching. Some more, coming out of it. Chin stays in, to not protrude the head forward. Lovely. Shake out the arms. You can't sit on the feet, but maybe you can kneel. But if you can sit on the feet, it's a good stretch for your shins. Opposite arm. Watch that you don't flare the ribs here. So ribs down, chin in. If this is really tough for you, just hold it here. The side bend's going to take you a little bit deeper into that stretch. Good, 3 times in and out of it. Very good. Let's do my 3rd time. And release. Good. All right, thread the needle. This is a little bit intense for folks. So if it doesn't feel like it's appropriate for you, listen to your body on that. Don't try to prove anything. You can always do a child stretch as an alternative or anything else that feels good for your body. Otherwise, on hands and knees, I'm going to start, let's call it your left hand. Left hand's going to go underneath the right arm, palm up, and then you're just going to gently imagine your arm's a needle, and you're taking the hand through the needle. If you can take your shoulder all the way down, even resting the head down, my hips tend to push through the side with the arms reaching. So try to pull them towards the other side to keep it square. And then you can walk the hand over the head if you'd like. And we're going to go 30 seconds from here. Great time to just close the eyes and feel into the body breathing. In and out the nose as able. Trying to really relax as much as you can into this stretch. I don't want it to be painful for you. 10 more seconds. And when you're ready, gently unthread that needle. So maybe a couple of cat-cows here. Loosen up through that spine again, chin to the chest. Looking up and forward. Excellent. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So wide handprint through your left hand, right hand, palm up, and then gently slide under. Taking the shoulder to the ground as you can. Watch the hips are probably pushing towards your left side. Try to pull them back, keep them square. You can take your left hand, crawl the fingers over your head. And then we're going to hold just under another 30 seconds from here. Close the eyes, breathe into your body. Ten seconds left. On that next inhale, coming out of that stretch. And then let's take it to seated to finish. All righty. Couple of circles through the neck. Take it the other way. Excellent. And then we're going to breathe in as we shrug up, rotate back, breathe out as you draw down 3 times there. Elevate up. Draw them back. Fantastic. And anything else y'all need otherwise? Breathing in, palms together, raising up, stretch tall, and circle down. Fantastic. 2 to go. Breathe in some love, some grace, some acceptance of where you are in this moment. Good. Final time. And breathe out any judgment, any fear, any frustration. Awesome. All right, friends. Thanks for moving with me. Stay hydrated. As it gets colder, it's harder, at least for me, to keep that hydration going. One of my favorite methods is to heat up my water and just to add some fresh lemon, some herbal tea, all that kind of stuff to help still keep you hydrated, keep you warm, not be leaning towards like the coffee pot all day long, which is sometimes a tendency. So stay healthy. And remember, life's meant to be enjoyed. I'll move with you next time.